Thank you for joining me. I'm Alex, and I would like to talk to you about General Motors today because much has happened to General Motors, especially the strike starting Sunday. So I figured it would be worth a closer look to see if it's trading at a huge discount and should you buy it and why. So what they do is they build cars and trucks and SUVs and other stuff. No other stuff. Obviously well known. Obviously, Benjamin Graham already wrote about them back in the 1949 book. So obviously they've been around a while. They know how to do business, and what excites me is that they've come out with a Chevy Bolt to kind of have a direct competitor to the Tesla Model 3. So they do build EVs, and they now release 2 more EVs only in China, but they are expanding on their EVs, and they're obviously learning a lot from the Bolt and what to do, what not to do. And the Bolt is actually a very good car. It obviously can't directly compete with the Model 3. It's priced slightly lower, the range is slightly lower, the acceleration is way lower, it's far less fun. But they have a good car out there. They have a competitor, which is more than I can say for most other car companies. So their price currently is $37.21. They're down 1.65% today. I would have expected them to take more of a hit, but as I said, they've been around for a long time. They know what they're doing, and the last strike that happened to auto companies was actually also at General Motors, so they kind of know how to deal with that, and I don't expect them to have too much of a problem with this. Obviously, they're going to give their workers more money and probably better benefits, and nothing that significantly impacts their bottom line. So the PE is currently 6, or under 6 actually, it's 5.82, which is pretty good considering. So I think based on that alone, it kind of makes sense to buy the stock. Dividend yield almost 4%, which is pretty decent. It's not great for a dividend portfolio, but I think that even for a dividend portfolio, the safety of the stock and the payout ratio is amazing, but the safety of the stock and the amount of time they've been in the business kind of plays a good factor here. And you would expect them to increase the dividends in the future. You would expect them to spend a lot on R&D, and especially with payout ratio of only 24%. So I think even for a dividend portfolio, this is huge. Especially if you want to diversify away from like tech stocks, retail stocks, you name it, food, commodities, anything really. Revenue $147 billion, which went up 1% from the previous year. Earnings $8 billion, which went up 300%. And by that I mean they gone from negative $4 billion to positive $8 billion. But there's a huge caveat there in that the previous year they had $9 billion revenue, and it's been fairly consistent except for the last year, or except for the previous year. Last year, $8 billion, kind of in line with what they've been doing. So except for the last year, it was very consistent. Obviously can't expect the 300% growth to continue. So there's that. Total assets, $227 billion. Total liabilities, $185 billion. And net tangible assets of $33 billion, which means the balance sheet is amazing too. So let's sum that all up. I don't think that they got a huge downturn from the strikes that were started. I'm not sure if the stock is going to go down or up when the strikes conclude. I would assume that they go up once a deal is reached, because it's kind of the uncertainty gone always pushes the stock up instead of down. So I think that investors generally assume the worst. So as soon as a deal is reached and the details come out, the stock will probably get a little boost on top of what they're trading at the time. PE of 6 is amazing, and payout ratio of 24% is amazing. The balance sheet is pretty good. So I think that this is a solid stock for pretty much any investor. If you're into growth investing, I don't think this is the stock for you. I don't think they're doing enough in the electrification to really gain a lot of market share, but the Bolt is a decent car. Compared with other EVs, it's not selling huge, but just the mere fact that they have an electric vehicle for sale right now, which means you can go to a dealership, get yourself a Bolt today, is a huge deal. So I think that will, in the long run, be a really good thing for them. Much to be learned from having an EV on the market, having the data, knowing what the customers want, knowing how well it's received and all that. I think that will be a huge asset in the future. Most other car companies are just starting now, with the Audi, with the Porsche, with the I-Pace has been around since I think late last year, but there's no other car companies in America, except for Tesla, obviously, that is building an EV right now, that is for sale right now, that is making an impact. Ford had one, but they don't. So, I think that alone is going to be very valuable in the future, and for that reason I think this stock is a buy for a dividend investor, and I think it's a buy for a value investor right now. The PE of 6 is just amazing, balance sheet is amazing, payout ratio is amazing, dividend yield is very good. It's not amazing, it's very good. So with that said, that's it for me for today. I'm probably going to pick up a few shares. I already own a share of GM, so I think I'll be diversifying into GM a little bit, just to get like a solid base, and kind of reduce the huge share of my portfolio that is Tesla a little bit, with adding a few more shares of GM. Now, I'm not selling Tesla, never going to happen, but I'm probably buying a few shares of GM to kind of enjoy the price that it's at right now, and I think it's only going up from here. Conclusion of the strikes will be huge. Conclusion of the tariffs will be huge. I think that this stock is going to go up significantly once both of those are out of the way. So that's it for me for today. If you haven't already and you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I'm coming out with more videos every day before market open. I hope you have a successful day.